This video is on the Guild basses, and they're some of my favorite basses, and for that reason I've got a bunch of them. I've been procrastinating doing this video. I haven't been looking forward to it, but the time is now. All right, right into it. I wrote some notes, so these are old, and I barely even glanced over them in a few months. But what I have written here is that the first time I ever saw a Guild bass was at a high school variety show, and it was being played by a fellow named Eric Schreck, and the band was Deep Water. They were really an incredible group, you know, for a high school band, really good. I'm not sure why I felt the need to tell you that, but there it is. So he was playing one of these Guild basses, and I just thought it was a really interesting looking bass. And this is one of the first basses in the collection that I got just because it was one I'd always wanted. I'd never seen one. You know, they didn't really carry them in stores or anything. So this was the first Guild I got. Technically, it was a Guild B-302A, and the A stood for that was an ash body. I think they're usually made of mahogany, and it was originally a fretted bass that had been converted to a fretless. So it was a fretless when I bought it, and I didn't have a fretless at the time. Up to this point in my collection thing, I'd only bought the PV basses and the Ibanez basses, and so when I thought, I didn't think I was going to get to, this number of basses. I said, well, it might be cool to have a fretless, so I'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll get a Guild bass, and it'll be a fretless. So, as usual, after about 15 minutes, I got sick of it, sick of the fretless. So I had a guy who was working on my basses at the time put frets back into it, and this guy was good. I think he charged me like $150. And then one day he just stopped answering my calls. But texts are weird like that sometimes. Anyway, put the frets back into it, and I liked how it came out. As a fretless, the string output was pretty unbalanced, and I just attributed that to it being a fretless. But once I got the frets put in, what I realized was it had a neck position, a neck pickup originally, that the E and the A magnets were just about shot. So I sent the pickup off to Tom Brandley, who I remagnetized them, and he's a super nice guy, really quick, really reasonable. So, like my Rickenbacker bass, I actually just preferred using the bridge pickup. So, eventually what I did was I had the neck pickup taken out, and I ordered this pick guard. I asked them to make it, the size of a two pickup pick guard, but with just one cutout. And by that time I had met Joe Cruz, who put it back together for me. Also on, what else we got? I really love the pickups in this bass. I'll just play a little bit on it. Whatever it is about these pickups, I just love how they sound, and well, I'm spending more time on this bass than I will on the others. This could get out of hand quick. Also, on all of these basses, they originally came with a 2-point bridge, a 3-point bridge, which I was never crazy about. I have Babbitt's bridges put on, all of them except one. I have a hip shot put on, and I could get into detail of how they were, they're put on a different. In some cases, the bolts holding them in had to be replaced because of the different thread size between the Guild bases and Gibson bases. So in this case, the mounting bolts were replaced. In another case, I actually had the inserts replaced, which is just a little more work. I've also got zero mod thumb rests on all of them. These it's for a jazz bass thumb rest, but the mounting hole lines up perfectly. I just had to put one tiny little screw hole in the pick guard, but I don't have a problem with that. So I think that's about it. Well, getting back to these pickups, not the pickups, the bridges. Some guy who had something to do with the Babbitts had a shop locally, and not Jeff Babbitts himself, but some other fellow. I said, well, that'd be a great place to bring the bass to see if it'll be a direct replacement. And that was a disaster. He had the bass like for 6 weeks, and I kept calling, oh, it's going to be done, and eventually I went back to just take the bass back, and it was done sitting behind the counter. So I didn't know what he did at the time, so he just replaced those bolts. What I found out was, what are these called? Socket cap screws. I found, and in this case, it looked like he ground the rough edges off and cleaned them up. I have one bass where I got them at Home Depot. You need a real big hex nut driver to do it, but that's how we did that. All right, let me switch basses. I'm going to turn the sound down because in case I fall, you don't hear me scream. This is another. Do I have it? Oh, here we go. Alright, where are you? I turned my headphone on. This is the second Guild bass I got. I got this from Olivia's Vintage on Reverb. What do I have written here? The kind of the weird thing is when I find a bass I really like, I always want a backup for it because I think something's going to happen to the original one, so in case something goes wrong with it. So I got this as kind of a backup. Nothing's ever gone wrong, but helps me sleep at night. Got this off of Reverb. The frets are really low. Actually, I don't know, except for the one I had refretted. They must have used some really light material on the frets because they're all pretty low. This is almost fretless. All of these basses sound really similar. This was one of the again, zero mod thumb rest. I call it the Neo Zero mod because I did have to put one little screw in. Babbitt's Bridge. This was the bass where the fellow actually replaced the inserts into the bass and used the existing. What did he use? Oh yeah, I think I picked up like an Epiphone bridge mounting set, and he just used the hardware from that, replaced the inserts, and used the screws there. So that's it. I got to figure out a way to do this so it's less cumbersome. I think it's just going to be cumbersome. All right, I'm not going to turn the volume off. right, there you are. Maybe I should have had Lynn just hand me bases or something. Now, why did I get this one? As soon as I had bought these ones, this one showed up on Reverb for dirt cheap. I don't want to get too much into, but back then they were going between $800 and $1,000. I think I paid under $1,000 for the black one, a little less for the ash one, and this one came up on Reverb for $550. So like, how can I not get it? And as it turns out, I mean, this is the one that's, it's been definitely the most played. You can't really see it, but there's just, it's all, all finish checking on it. But it's my favorite. Did I say it, or they all sound very, very similar? But I think every bass has a point in its life where everything's just work. The height of the frets and just everything kind of works well together. And this one I just always love to play. It's very comfortable. This was the bass where I got it. I said, well, got a great deal on it. I'm not going to bring it to someone. This is the one I use those what did I call them? Socket cap screws on. So I actually did this bridge myself, and it's working just fine. All right, and this was like the one the guy who I saw in the high school variety show play, except he had a 2 pickup model. But I think most people know him from this finish, kind of that natural mahogany. All right, next bass. Oh, it's still there. What did I do? Keep turning my headphones off when I get back here, and then panic thinking that something came unplugged. Oh, what do we got here? Well, I totally disregarded my notes. On that mahogany one, whoever owned it before, it took about 1.5 years for the smell of smoke to, I just left it out for like a year so it would stop smelling, and it did. Once in a while I'll get a faint whiff of it. And those Guild basses, those are the B series, B-301 and 302, and they were made from 1977 to, I wrote it down, I think 1981. Yep, 1977 to 81. So not that long. So, I really love, found myself loving those basses. So I grabbed one of these, which is a Guild, an SB-202. 202 because it has 2 pickups. The 201s have 1 pickup. And I got it just because so it's basically the same bass, different body style. I believe they only made these from 82 to 83. It's heavy, it's over 11 pounds. And I don't know how it's showing up on the video, but it's supposed to be like a bluish. It's really more of a green. For some reason it shows up differently in the different videos and photographs. Came with a white pick guard that was broken. I ordered this. There's more blues in here. It still looks alright, but also what I do is anytime those Guild pickups come up for sale, well, what I did on the Ash one was, since I didn't use the pickup, I had it taken out and I had to put it into another base. So when these come up for sale, I always just buy them up. I've got Guild pickups in a bunch of different bases. In fact, the base that Joe Cruz made for me recently has a Guild pickup in it. So I may sell this base, I'm not sure. Sounds the same, everything's the same, hardware's the same, electronics are the same, just a different body style. Yeah. So is that all I want to say? Yep. That's how it sounds with both pickups on. I much prefer that sound to this, but that's just me. So yeah, really cool bass. Again, it seemed like this was another bass where I had the inserts replaced. Oh yeah. I lost my train of thought. It just seemed like Guild was just searching for their market by changing the body style. Alright, I'm going to switch bases again. It's really kind of out of sequence in the order I got the basses, but this kind of completes the whole B series, SB, and this is the X series. Again, same bass, just different, more radical, body shape. At this point, I was just like, what the hell? I got all the other ones. I may as well get this. I was just working on that song, that's why I played that. But cool, they all sound strikingly similar. Something else that's interesting is the pickup placement is the same, it's in the same spot as it is on a Rickenbacker's bridge pickup. So when Joe made my bass, he carefully measured and put it in that's just a really sweet spot for it. This is the only bass that I had a hip shot bridge put on, because the Babbitt's, they were getting a little more expensive, and I think I found this on sale or something. And let's see, I actually had the pick guard replaced because the one that came with it just, it's got such a cool, shape to it. When the stock pickup just really didn't highlight that, just kind of blended into the bass. So so that's that. Okay, moving right along. I was looking to see actually. I was looking to see what model this actually was, and I wrote it's an SB. It's a pilot, Guild pilot bass, an SB-602. Really cool bass. I really love the shape of the pickguard. I love white basses, even though I don't have that many of them because Lynn thinks they're boring. But I like them. It's got a really slim, you know, jazz bass profile neck, just really sharp. Oh, I got this. I saw a video of a bass player by the name of Jerry Peak on YouTube. He was playing it with the Dixie Dregs. I guess he replaced Andy West for a while, and just love the look of it, and love, you know, and it's a little timid sounding. I think it's a passive. Well, it's the pickups are active, but I don't think there's a preamp in it. I think there's just a battery in there for the active pickups. It's got a really great. I love these shallow roller bridge. It's a little what did I write? Timid sounding. Still really cool, you know. Doesn't sound as I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Again, just a little timid sounding. It blends in really nice with a mix, which I guess a lot of people want. But these were really big for a time. I guess was it in the 80s, you know, mid to late 80s. A lot of people were playing them. Cool bass. Oh. All right, this is the last Guild. Did I turn the thing off? Jesus, what's the matter with me? I'll be glad when this is over. Why did I get this one? This is the first hollow body I ever got. When I like the looks of it. I'm more partial to single pickup basses. It's a short scale. I'm not crazy about short scale because my hands are smallish anyway, so I'm always afraid my hands are gonna shrink. But I love it. It's a nice looking bass. It plays good, and it, you know, when I think hollow body, I think it's gonna like be mellow sounding, you know. But this has got a really. If you notice, I haven't changed my EQ for anything. I'm not gonna do it. What happened? Oh, here we go. So this is, I'm just using the same EQ I use for everything. It's real easy to play. It's a, I think it's made in Korea. It's a Newark Street collection, you know, it's, I don't know. But it's a really nice bass. The pickup is cool. Another thing I like about the pickup is you can individually adjust each pole piece. that's a feature I always really liked. It came with a bridge that had these rosewood saddles, and you would just, you know, and it was also a 3-point bridge that, I mean, the thing looked precarious. It looked like it was going to, you know, collapse any minute. My friend Tim Daly of Zero Mod, he lives about an hour away. He actually, I found this bridge, which wasn't a direct replacement, but it was close enough. He had to fill some holes and drill out. But it's a, you know, made for a Guild base, just not this particular base, but it's got a, you know, regular way of adjusting it. The rosewood saddle ones, you'd had to slide them by hand back and forth, and one of the saddles, you know, they made of wood, it split in half. Just, it was a little weird, but alright, that's it. I think that completes the Guild video. There's only, I was going to say there's only one that's going to be as painful as this one, but they're all pretty painful. Yeah, that's all. I was kind of surprised from never really ever touching a Guild base before in my life to all of a sudden they're amongst my favorite bases. So I'll probably be selling one of the, you know, 301 models and some other stuff. Yeah, I won't sell them for more than I paid for them, and probably a little less. Well, that's it. Have a good one.